Okay, so this is just a quick demonstration of how to create a simple like one-page website. Um, the the web server that I chose to use was Nginx. So it has lots of images, but first I'll just show you what I created. So basically I have this. So for one of my other videos, I have some files that are downloadable just for my perfect prompt YouTube video. So basically I'm using Proxmox, but this isn't necessarily a Proxmox demo. This is more like a Docker website. Docker web server demo. So if you're not using Proxmox, don't be afraid. It's going to be fine. I'm going to do this in Docker, and it would work the same whether it's in Proxmox or local or whatever, local Docker install. So Nginx, when you come here to the website, they have all these, where actually it's the Docker Hub where you get the image. So they have all these different images for websites. And I looked into some of them, but they're kind of unique for special purposes. I guess one of the key things is like the Alpine is a smaller package or a smaller OS than like Debian, which is the default. I just use Debian generally. Like I've been playing with Alpine just to kind of get familiar with it. But anyways, so, and I'm going to provide all these commands that I use in the description of the video. So we'll just start here. So right now, I guess this will be a little bit tailored for Proxmox because you're going to have to sort out your directory structure and how you arrange everything. But in my case, because I'm doing this in Proxmox, my default directory is just /root. So right now I have these files in here because I do have Docker. I stopped all the containers, so there's nothing running, so it's empty. But what I'm going to do is first I need to create a folder for where my files are transported outside of the Docker container, because I need to be able to edit them without having to go into the security Docker container. So this is how you would do it. So I'm going to put this string in there. So first I need to make the directory. So basically these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 commands. So the and just means it just saves me from having to type each one at a time. But you could type one at a time. It's however. So I'm going to make directory Nginx. Then I'm going to go into Nginx. Then I'm going to make a directory HTML. And then I'm going to go into HTML. And touch just means create an empty file. So I'm going to create an index.html because that's what Nginx is looking for as the main page when it starts up. So as you can see right now in my directory, I don't have that. So I'm going to run this. And now I'm in Nginx HTML. So if I check in here, I have index HTML. So next I'm going to install in Docker Nginx. And I'm going to use the Debian distribution. So you saw those tags that they had. So this is like the one that I just have been using, is just Nginx stable. I'm going to use port 8080. And right here is where I map the drive to Nginx HTML, and then I match it over here. So this is from inside the container, and this is where I want it outside the container. So this is my local path, and this is my internal path. It's going to be read only because I don't know, that's what people say to do. So do this as you wish. So anyways, if you're doing it into a different directory, so this is where you would put the directory on your local machine. So I could put /home/ my username, and then this name right here can be whatever you want it to be. I just kept it the same just because, but you could have the name of the folder that it maps to be anything, even though it's still HTML folder inside of Nginx. I always put, so like anytime you get like something from Docker Hub, it doesn't always have this. And when I reboot my Docker or the host, I want things to start automatically. So I have this set. So restart unless stopped. And there's also like restart always, you know, but you should add this. This means it's detached so that when I run it in this window, this console window, I'm not stuck inside of that running command prompt. It's so that I can still type other commands and not be, it's detached basically. I don't know how else to say it. This is the name I gave it. Sometimes when you get Docker images, they won't have a name. So I always add a name if it didn't come with one. You could name it whatever. I'm not sure of the case sensitivity. I mean, I know that you can do case sensitive. You can do capitals, but I don't know what other special characters you could use. Just be careful. I'm using port 8080. So 8080 is going to be the external port. And then internally, Nginx is waiting for someone to connect to port 80. Now, there's other things you can do. There's other, like if you go back here, you know, they have some sample commands, like they do the 443 for like encryption or whatever. But I'm not using that. This is just kind of a simple, you know, instruction. So I'm going to run this. It's going to download the image. And then it's going to start it. So now it's running on port 8080. So if I go to, I think I have it saved. So my IP for this particular Docker is 21, I believe. So right now, so just so you know, so if you don't use what I did and create a blank file in there, a blank HTML file. Where did I do it? Right here. So I created this index.html. It's looking for index.html, Nginx is. So if you don't create it, when you go here, you'll get an error saying unauthorized or something. That's why I just put a blank page. But so whenever I created my website right here, all I did was go to Grok and say, I want a landing page, single page, and I want the HTML for it. So I have one where I just made so like you could see right here, this is, right now I'm connected to it. And so I'm going to grab some HTML after I So I'm going to so now I'm opening up that index file and I'm going to copy in this HTML that I had Grok make me yesterday when I was preparing for this. So put this in here. Basically, it's just a black background with hello world. So Ctrl+X, Ctrl+Y, or I'm sorry, Ctrl+X, Y, enter. So now if I come here and I refresh the page, hello world. So that's pretty much that. I mean, it's pretty cut and dried. I'm going to put all the code below so this could be simply done. However, I'm going to continue. And so whenever I created my website, I had to put files on there. And so whenever it's in this location and it's in Docker and all these different things, it's hard to get to. Like, I guess if you're doing this in like locally, you'll have mapped the drive, but because I'm in a virtual environment, I don't have really an easy way to get to this HTML folder. So one thing that I do is I install Filezilla. So if you're going to do that, so CD just takes me back to the root directory. And then if I do ID, this is how you find your UID and GID for root or whatever your user is. And this is what you'll need whenever you install Filezilla. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to install Filezilla in the same Docker container. And so I'll include this also. Okay, so I can see that it messed up. But what this does is it's just the Docker run command for Filezilla. So it's run detached. I name it Filezilla. Again, restart unless stopped. And this is where you have to put the permissions for Filezilla. So I gave it, what I'm using is 0 and 0. So I got 00 time zone, my time zone, the title. So whatever the title will be up at this little bar. I always disable IPv6 because I don't like the security around it. It's going to be port 325 and port 3026. That doesn't look right. And then again, I'm mapping a drive, right? So what I'm doing is I'm saying, okay, so on root, so my local is just /root. So I want access to everything in my root directory, and I'm going to map it into the container data, and I'm going to give it read write. All right. So, and then I'm using from Linux server, Filezilla latest. Okay. Okay, so I ran into a problem because apparently the note editor that I use put some hidden character in here. So I guess this has happened to me earlier before, so I'm probably going to need to find a different note application. I'm not going to get into that now, but anyways, I'll put the proper run command in the comments. But anyways, so I got it working. I connected it. It's now, I have Filezilla and I have Nginx. So now if I come over here and I go to this, I have Filezilla. So now in Filezilla, if I go to data, so now it shows the main directory of my host, right? So if I want to go here, I go to Nginx, HTML, index, and I could move it wherever. So if I wanted to like build an entire website, this is the path I would go to. I don't have any connected right now as far as FTP servers. So I'm not gonna, this video isn't really for that. If anyone requests that I expand upon this demo, then I can surely do that. But anyways, that's how you get to it. That's how you map it to your drive. Okay, hey, this is, I'm recording in post because I forgot that I wanted to mention one other thing that kind of brings everything together, right? So I use Cloudflare, and I purchased my a URL. So I have two. I have speedyfox.app and I have speedyfoxai.com. So I usually use the .com because I've gotten used to using SpeedyFox AI, but this one I actually set up for this hello world. So all I had to do was configure this to point to, so you see now it shows my local IP address for this, right? So all I had to do was configure it. So now if someone goes to speedyfox.app, which I have right here, you get SpeedyFox app and you have hello world. So local, internet. And what's really nice is, see, this is a secured connection, SSL, and I didn't have to do that because you see this is HTTP. But whenever I put it in here, Cloudflare does all the SSL for me, and I just put it in here as straight HTTP. And if I come over here, so I run two little Docker things that they provide you. I'm not going to click around on here because then it'll reveal my business. But they give you the string to set up this Cloudflare ID, like little Docker containers. So I have one for SpeedyFox AI and I have one for SpeedyFox app. So as long as these are running, they create the tunnel between Cloudflare and my home, and then whatever IP address I put in there on my network, then that's what it routes it to. So you can see they're both healthy because that means it's got a connection and it's running. So it's pretty handy. So thanks for watching.